Yes, it's been a while. Everyone knows.
Episodic games are things I always have trouble reviewing. My usual style of breaking down the gameplay doesn't really work, and it's harder to comment on things such as voice acting, graphics, and music as they're usually fairly similar. That's especially true for Tales from the Borderlands, as it not only suffers from these issues, but as Telltale Games tend to focus on story, I can't get too much in depth of what is different because that ruins the entire point of playing it yourself. It's also been 3 months since episode 1, making it harder to recall if events were properly wrapped up before moving on to new ones. Episode 2 picks up where episode 1 left off with a brief recap. The problem is it's a little too brief and skips quite a few events that get referenced later in the episode that I completely forgot about, such as Vasquez demoting Reese to a janitor. It doesn't even mention Zero, giving him only a cameo, or the race, again, showing not telling, but it does say,
"The money was gone,"
without explaining where this money came from. Sure, most events it glosses over are either minor or major enough you would remember. I just found it a little annoying when Vasquez brings up Reese being a janitor, and I had to rack my brain as to what he meant, as why would a janitor be close to a promotion to running the company? Moving on to the story, we start off with Fiona explaining what had gone wrong when they discovered the Gore Test project. We see Reese acting all crazy while Fiona, Sasha, and Vaughn are trying to figure out how to get past the retinal scanner. They end up digging out General Pollux' eye only to find out they made a grave mistake. Switching over to Reese, we can see why he was acting all crazy. After the shock, he could see a holographic image of Handsome Jack, but that's not all. He's the only one who can see it and hear it, as well as Jack reacts to events going on around them. It's kind of interesting to see why Reese was acting the way he did from Fiona's point of view earlier, with how it's actually happening now. Back in the caravan, they all get attacked and separated, with Fiona and Sasha staying in the vehicle while Reese and Vaughn fall out. They end up meeting up with Vasquez, who of course tries killing them, which introduces us to a new ability Handsome Jack gives Reese, hacking. You have a few choices of what to hack, and hacking the car, my choice, provided with the results you'd expect while still being interesting enough. Fiona and Sasha end up having to get their car repaired, and they find an auto shop where they promise the guy it can be their sponsor for any future races they do. While they're in the auto shop, 2 bounty hunters come in, revealing Fiona has quite a big bounty on her head. I'm going to stop here, but just know the episode only goes up from here. On to brief things I can talk about graphics and sound. I liked the song that played during the opening credits. I'm not going to play it, but it fit in what was going on with the time and the game in general, and it was pretty good. I also noticed a minor graphical glitch, as you can see on the screen now, and due to recording issues on my end I can't show it, but I noticed subtitles got a little out of sync for a line or two before fixing themselves in later parts of the episode. Speaking of subtitles, they also weren't always correct compared to what was being said, which I didn't like. Overall, I'd say the episode was stronger than the last one. I took about 30 minutes quicker to complete this episode, so if you felt the last episode was a little on the longer side like me, worry not. This episode was the perfect length. Tales from the Borderlands, Atlas Mugged, is receiving a 9.5 out of 10 from blazekick.com. Subscribe for more video content such as weekly podcasts and video reviews, as well as check out our website for our full review once all the episodes are out and more coverage of games, anime, and more.